Hello everyone, you are currently watching Space News episode 23. Okay, so to start off, I'm gonna be just talking about the DC video. So, I know I said I was gonna get it out as soon as I can, but apparently, the thing is I've been procrastinating a little bit as well. But I mean, I was trying a few times, but failed in the process. Plus, I'm now a freshman, so I'm gonna have to try grinding through a little bit of school until I get on a break. And that is where I will try to upload the video. Either that or I might even try beforehand to get it uploaded. But we'll see what happens. But just keep a lookout on for it. If I say that it's canceled, then well, I'll just eventually just say that. Probably like an announcement video or a Space News episode. We'll see. But that should be about it for announcements. So with all that said, let's blast off. So for this episode, there is mainly one topic, but I will spill in like a few things in this episode though. So the main topic we're discussing is the harvest moon. The full moon of September is finally here. So to start off, let's just say the date of when the harvest moon will be shown. It has been shown last night, but it also will show up another night and maybe even another one before turning into a waning, because sometimes full moons, or really any other phase, would last a few days at the most. The harvest moon will occur on September 10th at 9:59 GMT or 5:59 AM EDT. Now, for the name of the harvest moon is actually unique because it isn't really related to any particular month. Rather, the harvest moon is actually more closely related to the autumnal equinox in the northern hemisphere. But the name has a little more to it besides just the equinox. Approximately around this time, the moon would rise pretty much like soon after the sunset. This would give some farmers and harvesters a bit of an advantage when growing crops. Farmers would work longer and essentially harvest crops under the broad moonlight. Now, do keep in mind, equinoxes are different on different hemispheres. If it was autumn in the northern hemisphere, it'd be spring in the southern hemisphere. It would also work the other way around. Fun fact, the harvest moon would usually come across in September, like how it is this year. But sometimes, specifically around every 3 to 5 years, it would actually be in October. In the southern hemisphere, however, the harvest moon would take place in either the months March or April. Now, when some people look at the harvest moon, or God forbid any other full moon, they might notice that there's like a certain kind of color or hue on the moon's surface. Why is that exactly? Well, specifically for the harvest moon, it has some kind of orange hue on its surface. The main reason why this would happen is that blue wavelengths would pretty much get scattered all around by the atmosphere. So this would then be leaving more of the red wavelengths. So that is why sometimes the moon would get like a reddish or orange hue during the harvest moon, or mainly any other moon. Apparently, the full moon of September actually plays some kind of historical role in many different cultures. In Chinese culture, the September full moon would pretty much mark the Mid-Autumn Festival. This will also be known as the Mooncake Festival or the Lantern Festival. It's not even just Chinese culture. There are different cultures and countries around the world that actually play with the moon in September, like Japan, Korea, Vietnam, India, and Sri Lanka. Now, we did mention a bit mainly about the moon itself, but it turns out there are some other things in the sky that are actually near it. On September 8th, it was actually able to pass by the planet Saturn for a little bit. And later on September 11th, it is actually going to be next to Jupiter, which, by the way, that planet is going to be in opposition by the end of this month. If you happen to unfortunately miss this full moon, don't worry, there are 3 more to go. The full moon in October is called the Hunter's Moon, and it will take place on October 9th. Now, one more thing before I wrap this up, I did mention about the autumnal equinox being connected with the harvest moon. So let's just take like a few seconds to talk about that real quick. So equinoxes are basically when day and night lengths are relatively equal because the Earth's axis isn't really tilted towards nor away from the sun. Equinoxes would usually mark the beginning of spring or autumn. If you're wondering when the equinox for the northern hemisphere will come, which by the way is going to be the autumnal equinox, it will be on September 22nd. But that just kind of depends on your time zone. But for another time zone, it's going to be at September 23rd GMT. I also mentioned before that when there's a fall equinox in the northern hemisphere, there's going to be a spring equinox in the southern, which for that day will be March 20th, 2023 at 21:25 GMT or 5:25 p.m. EDT. So that just about wraps up this, I would say, mediocre episode, but I mean, well, what do you guys think? I hope my information for this episode made your day a little bit better. Oh, and do keep a close lookout for the DC video. Like I said, I am a freshman now, so I will try looking out for if I could do it on a break that would come out in the future, or if I would do it on a weekend earlier than a break, but we'll see. So, thank you all for watching. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Make sure you also took a look at the harvest moon itself, and as always, keep on stargazing.